I think we're live. It says I'm live. So, hello, everyone. Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. So glad to see y'all coming in. Those people that can make it. I mean, especially on a Wednesday in the middle of the doggone day. I understand that's tough for a lot of people, especially people like Tammy who are running around. How dare you, Tammy, not make me more important than you're running arounds, doing chores and whatnot. And obviously, I'm kidding. I know Tammy would get it and most of y'all, but there's always going to be someone that's like, how rude. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to today's show. And if you're new to seeing my live shows, just know that I usually wait until right about the hour mark, where from the point that I've started should be about 20 minutes ish. So if you're watching this in replay, you can just skip ahead to where I get to the actual questions, such as the milk and the powders and the other things I plan on tackling. The reason I like to come in early is, well, for one, I'm ready most of the time. I'm pretty ready to go, and I get anxious, and I hate waiting. But also because I believe that helps give people more time to be able to get notified, to realize I'm live, and then be able to pop in and not miss too much other than the just opening greetings. And by the way, Linda, I did see you in here. And so, hello, Linda, if you're still here. And there's T and Cheryl. And I know I already said hi to Deb and Dusty. And was there somebody else? Well, and of course, Tammy, Slacker. Hi, Jackie. So, this is the thing about this is we get to hang out like this, and then I can give you guys a hard time and think that you guys at least get it better than if I was to do it in a pre-recorded show and it's like, who is she talking to? How rude. So, and Barbara, hello. Hello. Regina. Hi. So we got West Virginia, Texas. We got people from all over the place. So that's always nice. And sometimes Diametra can pop in. She's from Australia, and that's nice when she can make it. I know it's nice and early the next morning for her. I mean, compared to where we're at, they're almost a whole day ahead. So my social outing. Hi, Brandy. Hello, Kate. Northeast Washington State. So you're on the opposite, well, not complete opposite side because we're on the peninsula, but we're not in the southwest part of the corner of the state. It's a lot drier down there than it is here. I'll say that for sure. And by the way, if it gets a little noisy, we've got family here right now, and one of my grandbabies is here in the other room. So we're trying to keep everybody in there, but the problem is he's been having a ball, quite literally, on our foosball table lately. Just constantly, we got a bench up next to it because he's not even 3 years old yet, and so he climbs up there, and he likes to play foosball, and that's all he's wanting to do right now. So I think he's probably really wanting to come in here and play foosball. So it's going to be hard for the next however long I'm on here. I try to go maybe an hour and a half, but you guys keep me. It's your guys' fault. I end up being here for 2 hours or more. It's all your fault. It's because I like it. I like you guys. Hello, Joy. I'm glad you were able to make it. And hi, Kate. Also from, that is the same Kate. So north of Spokane. Okay. Yeah. I haven't been to Spokane since I was a little girl, but I know the climate there is very similar to where I grew up in Wenatchee. That's where I grew up. Then lived in Seattle a couple of years, which helped me kind of. And hi, Debbie. Did I say hi to you yet? And hi, and his sweetie. I don't know if I did, but hello. And who's your pioneer? And Sandra D. How many people sing that song to you, Sandra? Anyway, now I got sidetracked and I forgot what I was saying. I don't know how much it matters. Probably wasn't important. I'm just rambling right now to fill up the air until everybody comes in and we officially get started. Lots, she says. It's hard because every time I see your name, that song starts going through my head. Uh, I'll gladly take the blame if it means we have to have fun together. Okay, cool. Cool. But yeah, it's definitely a fun time. I think like Dusty was saying, it's kind of like it's my social outing of the week. And now I do it twice a week. So I actually get two social outings, though I'm never actually leaving the house. I'm still here. But it feels different, if that counts for anything. Because, well, the funny thing about this room, for many, many years, this was my business room because it was where I taught my classes. And so I didn't like hanging out in here a whole lot unless we're, having family over and playing games in here or something, but because this was my work area. This was my office. But now the living room is my office more so than this, and my kitchen. Even though I shoot videos in here, I'm not, other than, and now I'm doing the live shows, but this is actually in some ways a little bit more relaxing because my living room is where I do all my video editing and all the commenting and getting back to people, on emails and whatnot, and so on and so forth. Which reminds me, I did write it down, but I might as well say it now since I'm on the topic of emails. Um, the Every now and then I'll get somebody who will email me. Excuse me. That happens almost every show. Sorry, not ladylike. But anyway, they'll email me from their phone, which is fine if you have a phone app, like a Gmail app or whatever app you use for your email, and you email me from that, where it actually gives me an email address, the whole bit. But sometimes people email me from like a text to my email. And the problem with that is that unless they give me their email address and their name, I won't know who they are, because all that ever shows up for me is a phone number in the, from section, plus, whatever their provider is name. Like if it's Verizon, I think it's like VZ something. And normally that would be okay. But if it's people asking me questions or wanting a product list, especially that one, in most cases, I cannot send a product list to a text message on a phone. I can't reply that way. And sometimes I can't reply even in a short form at all. It just won't even go through. And so unless I know who you are, and your email address just happens to be stored in my contacts somewhere, or you at least put your email address in there, it's unlikely I can reply. So you need to make sure that if that's the only way you have to email is text to email, make sure you put your email address in there and your name so I know who you are. That way I can send you the information you need through the actual email instead of trying to send it directly to your phone and then have it not go through because maybe the file's too big or something. So more people coming in. See, thank you, Deanna, and thank you for coming in. What does it say? Oh, maple. Every time I first see that without my glasses on, I see that I read that as magpie for some reason. I see the L as an I, but there's no G in there, so it doesn't make any sense. I guess if there was a G in there and that L was an I, it would say magpie. But anyway, you're saying my name. Okay, Toy. Thank you. Thank you. I think I always miss I always miss that. So, yeah, anyway, little tip if you're trying to get a hold of me, I always feel bad because, and then another thing that happens is sometimes people will either put my email address in wrong, like they'll leave the R out of country. So it says Rain County Homestead. And then I never get their email because it just won't come through at all. And then they wonder why I haven't replied. And it's like, I have tried to email you. So they'll say this in a comment on YouTube. and nothing. I give up. And it's like, well, don't give up. Just check the email address and make sure you have it right. Or another thing that happens is sometimes because of the settings in my email and because I get so much spam, so many people wanting to hook up with them, as far as companies, and I'm always marking those as spam all the time, marking them as spam. Well, sometimes Gmail will wrongly see an email as another one of that's coming in from one of my followers as one of those because of maybe the wording, how the wording was. And so it goes into spam. And I do try to check my spam folder before I clean it out, but sometimes things still get missed. So, oh, there's Diametra. Oh, wait, is that? Nope, that's not her. See, my eyes are getting terrible. And the longer I sit here with these lights, the worse it gets. Well, by the way, so let me know what you think about this lighting. I'm finding I really hate having any of the overhead. Um, oh, that's a different Tammy. Hi, Tammy. That's not Slacker Tammy. We were giving her a hard time earlier because she's probably not going to be able to make it in here. So I was teasing her. But anyway, the overhead lights, because again, this was my dance studio, martial arts studio. They're all fluorescents. And I hate the color they add, but I always felt like I needed more light. Well, on Sunday, we had a power outage, so I couldn't turn them on anyway. So I was using everything hooked up to our generators. And but I had my ring lights still set on the orangey color that would help counteract the more, I guess, bluish tone of the fluorescence. And I should have changed it. And so because I noticed it made me look really orange. So I'm hoping this is a good balance right here. And then I set up another lamp right behind my computer, hoping that would add a little more light. But I prefer the coloring better without those overhead fluorescents on. So yeah, I'm going to keep messing around with some of these different lights and, things to try to get it looking better. Yeah, when Tammy comes back and watches the replay, that's why I'm hoping she does, so she can hear me giving her a hard time. So otherwise, there's no fun in it. Hello, Maria. She's always waving. Hello. And Deborah, if I did not say hi to you yet, I know I get a couple of Deborahs, Debs, Debbies, Deborahs. Hello to all the Deborahs and Debbies and Debs out there too, in case I miss any of them. All right, what else? I still have 5 more minutes before I get into the serious. Well, they're not serious, and I didn't have any other thing. Any other extra doodads I was going to talk about. So by the way, I didn't have a ton of questions this time around. I was really digging for some too. My last live show, there wasn't a lot of questions that I didn't already get to. So love the lights. I rarely see overheads, just my plant lights and one string of icicle lights. I actually have, I have these, these are artificial flowers. I can't get my hands right there and there. And I get some of these every so often. Every year I'll get some more so I can kind of add them to my photos, or just to add more color and stuff when I'm taking photos of different things, and then also to kind of match the season. And I pulled them out early. It's still winter, but I was already tired of my winter decor. But what I ordered was some little fairy lights that I'm going to put into those bouquets, or whatever other bouquets that I'll set up here, throughout the year. And so that when I'm doing my live shows, I can have some more pretty things. Right now I have 2 oil lanterns lit like I did during the power outage. And then this shorter one right here, that is actually an LED lantern. I could have put another LED one right there. I probably should have, but I decided not to. Because for some reason, this oil lantern on this side, I can't get it any brighter than that. I think that's our oldest one. I need to check and see if maybe it's like it's not grasping the wick for me to turn it up the way I should be able to. So winter gets old quick. I tell you, especially since we've had snow, and snow isn't common for our area, and it's been a lot of snow. Patrick thinks we got at least 8 inches. So for here, that is a lot of snow. And just when you think, oh, good, the sun's coming out, it's going to melt, it starts to melt and then clouds come in and then snow, which is part of the reason why we have family staying with us right now because, well, it started with the power outage. And they didn't have heat, so we didn't come stay. But then they live way on the other side of town, and it's kind of dangerous. Some of the roads around here are pretty dangerous, except for the main road. It's very icy. So praying that if the sun doesn't come out and melt everything, then our rains will come back. Because at least with the rains, you don't have to worry about that, which they will be soon, but I just don't know how soon. We're just the snow is getting old, and my chickens will not come out of the coop. The most I've done is open up the door, and I shoveled out the snow away from the front of the chicken coop, so at least they can come out and hang out there and not feel quite so cooped up all day. Do you do sourdough for bread? I haven't done real sourdough in a long time. I'm just not super interested in it. I've made bread using my fermentation starter, which is pretty much sourdough. And I'll do that from time to time. And I like doing it that way. But I'm going to start, since it's been years since I've actually made sourdough, like from the sourdough starter and a whole bit. I think I want to learn a little bit more about working with it and keep doing it that way and still use my fermentation starter instead of using a sourdough starter. But it's just not our preferred choice. It's one of those things we like now and then. But I make all my own bread. So, in fact, I got some homemade bread sitting on the counter right now. We need to finish working through. Patrick's favorite right now is when I make the butter croissants. Not croissants, excuse me. Butter crescent rolls. There is a difference. They shape the same, but there is a difference. And those are his favorites because they're all buttery and yummy, and he doesn't have to worry about buttering it. You can just grab one and go. So at any rate, let's see, went shopping and had to shop at local florist and get us flowers. Yeah, right, Linda? Just to have some springy stuff and make us feel happier. I'm looking forward to starting my seeds here pretty soon. So is the fermentation starter used when making bread? I do. I have video on it on my main channel, Brenda. I have a couple of them, but I did a newer one, a new-ish one. It's not that new, it's at least a couple years old, but I do it from time to time. Like I said, it's not something I do very often. Okay, thank you, Deb. She got it in there, so you can find it there. Is that butter? No, it's well, what I have, Brenda, is I have my basic yeast bread recipe that I use for all of that. I use it for making pizza crust. I use it for making butter crescent rolls. I use it for making regular loaf bread and any other kind of dinner roll. I use it for making hamburger buns, hot dog buns, everything. Oh, cinnamon rolls. So I have that basic recipe out there, and I just use it for everything. I might change up some of the ingredients I put in it. Like I usually add seeds. If I'm using it to make cinnamon